Day 15, Sister Mary of the Sacred Heart, Brno. Live Jesus. Foundress of the Guard of Honor of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Chapter 7, Day 15. The Promoter's Tickets and the Manual. Toward the end of 1864, at the request of Bishop de Langalerie, the foundress also prepared a historical account intended to make the Guard of Honor more widely known. This new undertaking became for her yet another occasion of labor and suffering. At last, the work appeared in print. It was a modest booklet of 48 pages, in which the author outlined the essential character and spirit of the work. An initial printing of 2,000 copies was produced. Yet, despite its brevity, the booklet answered a genuine need, and a second edition soon became necessary. In the years that followed, this modest publication would become the foundation for the Manual of the Guard of Honor, which itself would eventually appear in numerous editions. Sister Mary of the Sacred Heart, Brno, devoted the greatest care and attention to the preparation of these works, while also benefiting from the insights and advice of several enthusiastic collaborators of the Guard of Honor. Clearly, she was far from inactive in the silence of her religious life. She worked constantly, and she suffered, something even more precious in the sight of God, who seemed to ensure the spread of the Guard of Honor through trials of many different kinds. Indeed, love in this world does not live without suffering, and she loved Jesus too deeply not to share profoundly in his cross, both in body and in spirit. Her physical sufferings. Sister Mary suffered greatly in her body. Her health, seriously weakened since the years of her novitiate, was never fully restored. Several times each year, her illness became more severe, alarming those around her. Yet once the crisis had passed, she returned faithfully to her usual responsibilities, struggling between life and death, and able to repeat with St. Paul, "I can do all things in him who strengthens me." In March 1886, her condition worsened dramatically and brought her to the very threshold of death. The physicians had practically abandoned all hope and expected the final moment at any time. Then, to the profound astonishment of those surrounding her, the dying sister unexpectedly began to recover. Her illness had not yet meant to lead to death, but rather to another period of service for the greater glory of the Sacred Heart. Understanding what God seemed to be asking of her, Sister Mary of the Sacred Heart wrote to a friend during her convalescence on April 27, 1886. "I understand perfectly that my life has been restored to me only so that I may labor for the honor and glory of my God and for the extension of the reign of the Sacred Heart. To love him, to make him loved, or to die. This is my motto." Once sufficiently recovered, Sister Mary immediately resumed her work, although she still remained in the infirmary. The room she occupied was on the first floor, directly above the kitchen. Two large windows, almost adjoining one another and facing south, filled the room with light. While this arrangement was pleasant during the cold winter months, it became a serious hardship during the heat of summer. The poor sister's cell then became like an oven. Nevertheless, she never expressed any desire to leave it, no matter how uncomfortable the temperature became. What importance could such external inconveniences have for her? Her thoughts habitually dwelt where her treasure was, 1,000 leagues above the earth, as she herself would candidly admit. Had the infirmary sisters not watched over her carefully, she might easily have gone without even the most necessary things, without ever making a complaint. The sufferings of her heart. Yet, far more than in her body, Sister Mary was destined to suffer in her heart and in her spirit. One by one, God broke the tender yet powerful bonds that united her to so many beloved friends and collaborators. The year 1867 was particularly painful in this regard. It was first marked by the death of Marie Mathilde Josephine de Nidonchel, the first promoter of the Guard of Honor in Belgium. Her father had taken her to Rome for the Jubilee celebrations. During the solemnity of Corpus Christi, Mathilde attended the procession of the Blessed Sacrament, celebrated with extraordinary splendor in the vast expanse of St. Peter's Square. As the Supreme Pontiff, carried in the sedia gestatoria, passed before her eyes, the young woman was deeply moved at the sight of the white-haired elderly Pope kneeling in adoration before the sacred hosts. Under the influence of an extraordinary grace, and moved by a spontaneous and irresistible impulse of love, she offered herself as a victim for the life of the Pope and for the triumph of the Church. It all took place in an instant. Deep within her heart, she felt as though God had accepted and graciously received her offering. That very night, the first symptoms of a mysterious illness appeared, an illness that would bring her life to an end only a few days later. Mathilde died piously in Rome on June 27, 1867. It was a death worthy of such a surrendered soul. The Guard of Honor lost in Mathilde a fervent promoter. Sister Mary of the Sacred Heart lost an intimate friend. Yet, heaven seemed to gain an exquisite flower of purity, generosity, and innocence. Almost at the same time, the foundress also received the sorrowful news of the death of her devout mother. Finally, Abbé Amaudru, of whom we have already spoken, also came to the end of his earthly life in a small village where his superiors had sent him in the hope that his failing strength might be restored. On the eve of his death, sensing that his end was near, he dictated these words for Sister Mary of the Sacred Heart. One of my last thoughts in this world will be for that beloved Guard of Honor, which I have loved so much and have labored so earnestly to spread. I ask God to accept my life for it, or at least to apply to those who labor for the work whatever graces my poor sacrifice may obtain. Sister Mary of the Sacred Heart was destined to feel such losses more deeply than many others, for everything touching those she loved reached the very depths of her heart. The religious spirit does not make the heart insensitive. On the contrary, by purifying it, it enables the heart to love even more deeply. Many times throughout her life, Sister Mary had endured a true passion and death for the sake of the work. And as she advanced in years, she saw, one of the sorrowful privilege of old age, her path becoming increasingly marked by the graves of those most dear to her. Superiors who had enthusiastically supported the Guard of Honor, bishops who had declared themselves its determined protectors, fervent promoters who had sacrificed their health, their wealth, and even their lives for the spread of the work. The death of Marie de Langalerie. But one of the most devastating blows was the death of her beloved collaborator, Marie de Langalerie, known in religion as Mother Mary of Jesus, foundress of the Daughters of the Heart of Jesus. On February 27, 1884, Ash Wednesday, she was shot and killed at La Servienne, near Marseille, on the family property where she had established a house of her congregation. The news of that terrible murder pierced the heart of Sister Mary of the Sacred Heart. She could not restrain her tears. She wept bitterly before a trial that seemed destined to become one of the most painful of her entire life. But before long, she once again lifted her eyes toward God. From that newly closed grave, her thoughts rose toward heaven, where she knew her beloved Marie de Langalerie had so quickly gone to receive her eternal reward. She felt that her friend continued to assist her from heaven, and once again, her peace and confidence became unshakable. She wrote, "This death, which seems to overturn everything, will serve to strengthen everything. Marseille is overwhelmed with grief. Expressions of sympathy and mourning are universal. Here our hearts are bleeding. But live Jesus. What a magnificent opportunity to prove to the beloved that His will is dearer to us than even our most cherished affections." God be blessed.